Apple tells us the 7.9-inch iPad mini is a condensed version of the iPad 2 rather than a big phone or even a 7-inch tab, rocking the same dual-core A5 chip, same 1024x768 pixel resolution, but in a much thinner and lighter form with a wonderfully skinny bezel. It also arrives with iOS 6 and will be one of the first 4G tablets to hit the market. Despite super-fast internet coupled with the overflowing App Store, for once Apple doesn't have the early advantage for pocketable slates. There are other 7-inch Androids out there and they're pretty damn good, like the Google Nexus 7. But side by side, the 7.2mm thin iPad wins in the looks department hands down, thanks to its diamond cut edges and solid aluminium finish. However, the Nexus 7's textured back panel is much better for grip, and it's worth noting the black and slate model features a similar finish as the black iPhone 5, so it might need some extra care. And at just 308 grams for the Wi-Fi model, it's great for sticking in your bag or pockets if they're big enough. And while it's lighter than both the Nexus 7 and Kindle Fire HD, this is far from a deal breaker, as all three tabs are easy to hold for long periods of time. A 7.9-inch display means it keeps the iPad 2's traditional 4:3 aspect ratio and the black bars when watching HD movies, but 720p videos look crisp. Now at 5.3 inches across, it can be a significant stretch for one-handed use, but it's compact enough for comfortable two-handed typing and tapping game controls while still seeing your targets, and it's a great size for flicking through newspaper, magazine apps or iBooks. Now, high-res images look impressive, but compared to the pin-sharp iPad 4, icons, images and text on the home screen have a slight fuzz around the edges. Text also looks jagged when web browsing, and colours aren't as eye-catching, but things improve once you zoom in. The Mini also offers great viewing angles and gets extra points for the slightly extra screen space for displaying the whitest whites and its thumb detection, which helps to prevent a stray finger from mistakenly closing apps. Now, due to its size, the Mini requires more precise fingerwork than a 10-inch tab, but aside from the odd double tap, which is mostly needed on Apple's own buttons in the settings menu and the App Store, usability is just as good. iOS 6 may have also been spectacularly let down by Apple Maps, but there's still lots to love, like Facebook integration, revamped email, and an improved Siri. The notifications pull-down looks odd and ugly, and compared to Google Now, it's clear Apple has got some work to do for its next iOS upgrade. Now, in part, apps is the key advantage the Mini has over its rivals, offering up more high-quality titles. All 275,000 iPad apps will work perfectly with the iPad Mini, as the display is the same ratio as the iPad 2. Annoyingly though, apps like YouTube aren't optimized. Now, despite running on the old dual-core A5 chip, the iPad Mini is pretty quick at loading fresh web pages with no sign of lag, and it tears through graphically intensive mobile games, so it's more than capable of handling day-to-day emails, browsing and gaming. Now, around the back sits a very capable 5-megapixel snapper. There's no flash or the incredible low-light skills of the iPhone 5, so it struggles very slightly indoors, but image quality is roughly the same as the latest iPad and iPhone 4, so clear and crisp in good light. There's also 1080p video, and the 1.2-megapixel front facer gets a bump in detail, now shooting at 720p HD. Our iPad Mini test unit is Wi-Fi only, so we weren't able to test out the new LTE speeds, but it's good to know that option is available. With a claimed 10 hours of battery life, the iPad Mini does better than that and should manage a day and a half of intensive usage. So the iPad Mini not only looks really, really good, you'll barely notice it in your bag, and it's got the apps to back up that price. But it isn't without compromises. The screen isn't as crisp as it could be, and it's slower than its bigger brothers. Then there's the price. The 16GB Nexus 7 is a full £110 cheaper than the iPad Mini equivalent. Couple that with a higher res screen, equally impressive performance and a sturdy, easy to hold form, and the iPad Mini starts to look expensive. The two devices are, however, quite different. If you're looking for a tablet that encourages creativity and interaction rather than pure media consumption, the Mini is genuinely worth the extra cash. It's better built as well. But if web and media on the move is what takes priority, the Nexus 7 is simply brilliant value. That's why the Nexus 7 sits in second place in our top 10, with the iPad Mini following closely up in third.